Oh, dude, as soon as I started drinking, that's when I'd start thinking about my childhood and why my dad left and why things weren't messed up and why I wasn't doing in school. And it was all me. I just compounded everything times 10.
Well, it's important to remove that blame. I'm glad that you shared that. So what was there any kind of like work that you really put into that? I've had a couple friends reach out and they're like, my childhood. And I tell them, you don't get to blame your childhood for your adult life. Well, my emotions. Okay. Let your emotions control you. That's a wonderful thing to do, that we stop as toddlers, that we try to parent that out. So how was it for you, like really confronting that and removing the blame and taking a look at Tim in the mirror?
I finally did that in rehab.
Yeah.
So at 44 years old, I just turned 45 in June. So in rehab in March,
June what?
June 6th.
June 23rd.
Okay.
Keep going. Sorry. Gemini and Cancer. I'm on the cusp.
Okay.
There's like
my mom's 28th.
Oh, my mom's the 19th. She's a Gemini.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a wonderfully sweet lady, but definitely don't mess with her.
Yeah, she's Mexican too, so she's hella mean. So if I were to step out, she would throw the shoe at me.
My mom's Italian, so I get that.
Same boat. Same story, different chapter.
German, so my dad's got the German anger. He didn't come here to the United States until he was 18, so he's like literally German.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
mine's Polish.
My whole father's side of the family is all from Germany. When they used to come over, they would all speak German. I didn't know what the hell they were saying. But it was pretty cool knowing I had family in Germany and family in Italy.
Yeah.
That is cool.
So I've never visited either one of those places. I would love to see where my father grew up and my grandparents, my aunts and my uncles, and vice versa in Italy. Maybe one day I'll be able to do that.
Yeah. Italy is amazing. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, you're good.
We were talking removing the blaming others.
So in rehab, we had a bunch of different classes that we had to do. And one of them was self-reflection and our emotions. And when they broke it down into like blaming others and not taking responsibility for your past, I finally started to realize that, I'm the one in control of my emotions. I'm the one in control of, will I allow that situation to determine my future? I always look back at my childhood and blamed it on that. It wasn't until I was around a bunch of group-minded people that were all going through similar situations, whether our addictions were different or our mental illnesses were different. We all had a common bond that we didn't deal with our situation properly. We didn't look at what was making us drink or drug. And I blamed it on bipolar for a while too, but you know what? That's the card I was given. I got bipolar. I have a disconnection in my chemical imbalance. Okay, it is what it is. But I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want to take the medicine. I learned there that, alcohol and addiction is a byproduct of our mental illness. And I was never taking care of my mental illness properly. I would take medicines for a year or two, but I'd be drinking or drugging on top of it. And that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
My perspective of my life completely changed when I was in the rehab. The first couple of days I was there, I wanted to be there. Don't get me wrong, but I was homesick and, it was kind of hard getting used to the rules. But after the first 4 or 5 days and we started compounding, we did 7 classes a day. And then at 7:00 at night, we'd have an outside speaker coming in. And when those outside speakers came in and told me their story about their lifelong addictions, of how, some of them, their parents beat them. Their parents, locked them in closets. Their parents did drugs in front of them. I started to realize my childhood was not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
My father left. And that's pretty much about it. My mother raised me the best that she could, and she did a hell of a job. So what was I holding on to all these years that was allowing me not to be the person that I should have been? And it was all up in here.
Yeah.
It was myself telling myself, these are the reasons why you're not successful. These are the reasons why you're sad. These are the reasons why you're not happy, or you're not living your life to the fullest. I allowed myself to believe the thoughts I was telling myself. When they told us that we all live in this cage and we are actually the ones holding the keys. And the first time they said it, I was like, that fucking doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? They're like, you've lived in this secluded cage your whole life. It's time to let go of the things that have brought you into this rehab center. You cannot move forward while looking in the past. That's why the windshield's so big and the rearview mirror is so small. You can't drive forward while looking behind you. And I finally started to let go of so many things that I believed brought me down.